Hi there, I'm Java Jim with First Line Equipment, and welcome to this video, which is the reintroduction or the introduction of the Bianca version 3 made by Lelit in Italy. So, as you probably saw in the previous video, I had to go pick one of these up to bring here at First Line. Went by bicycling, bicycle rafting. And we finally have one here for review. We actually have some in stock as well. And they made some upgrades to version 3, and we kind of had a little bit of inkling last year that something was going on, but Lelit, as usual, very, very secretive. And from the externals of the machine, there's really not a lot of changes. We're going to go today on an overview of some of the changes. In another video or two, we'll go over a little more detail of some of the new functionality that takes Lelit Bianca from here, which was ahead of the pack over here, and now brings it up to here. So Lelit has done a very good job of becoming a fast follower to a market shaker or a market leader or an industry leader in technology and trying to step forward. So again, nothing's really changed on the outside. Quality build, stainless steel frame, so a lot of things seem similar, but there are some minutia differences on the inside. And the one thing we've noticed is this little brass piece called the jaclure. And this hole on the jaclure, or this jaclure, belongs in the bottom of the group head. And in your typical E61s, the hole is typically maybe 1 millimeter or smaller. And on this one, it should be 1.5, if I'm not mistaken. Again, secret by Lelit. Secret the way they designed the flow control device. There have been a lot of copycats coming out with the flow control. But I think it's pretty hard to duplicate on the manufacturing and also the design. So they include this little extra part here. The reason is, over the past 3 years, every once in a while, this would break. So they include an extra one just as precautionary. It hasn't been a lot of them considering the number of machines sold, but there is an extra piece in here. The one thing we've seen is, maybe externally, is the wood changing from batch to batch. They've gone lighter, now they've gone back to darker wood. So we have the portafilters. Most important thing, when we started carrying, we said to Lelit that the filter must be included, or the water softener, the 70-liter one. Really, really important. And it's really important to recharge it once a week. We have instructions on our website, and also replace it every 6 months. They say replace it every 70 liters. We don't like to fill up the landfill here, so we believe in changing it every 6 months. Some companies will say every year. We think the effectiveness goes down in that regard. The typical conspiracy theory on the scoops, waste. Cleaning brush for the group head, which is nice. And we have the 4-hole steam tip, 2-hole on the machine, last I checked. And we have basically the IMS baskets, okay, that come with the machine. Nice feature, already standard. Plumbing in and draining. Cleaning cloth. Sample of the pulley. This is should be on our website by pulley for the milk wand or the steam wand cleaner. You can use regular water, steam it, and then just wipe it. This is really when it gets brownish in color. And then a couple samples of the backflush detergent that's included there. And then, of course, our heavyweight tamper. So now we're going to look at the upgrades where they really occurred was on the LCC. From my understanding, the Lelit changed the solenoid valve on the inside, and basically the new programming is what they call low flow. This is, I believe, to go after some of the competitors that you could program the different pressure profiles. So you have the pre-infusion profiling, you have the low flow profiling, and then you have high flow or high speed flow profiling. What does that do? In my opinion, I like the manual. I like to control it based on the way the pour is coming out, and I like to respond to the way the pour comes out. And some people say, why? Well, just a change in humidity levels in a room can actually change the flow, and also the different coffees, or even the same coffee, where you're getting a pound this week and a pound in 2 weeks and a pound in 2 weeks after that. You don't know if the roaster has changed their roasting profile, the makeup blend, the hardness of the bean, the absorption rate of the beans, that they have changed and don't tell you. I know roasters change beans because sometimes you can't source one bean from a certain farm or an area, you have to replace it. That can change the flow. So in that regard, the customers who call say, I have a problem with the machine, and not just this one, it's not flowing or it's coming out too fast. I haven't changed grind settings. That's the problem. A lot of customers don't change grind settings. You should be over time changing your grind settings, but you can use the paddle here, the flow control and the pressure profiling, to make the adjustments. So why did Lelit come out with this? Again, to go after some of the competitors who have this programming, but also the significant other who doesn't want to use the flow control or the paddle. And in the past, I would just say to those customers, just set it for 9 bar and let them make their espresso at 9 or 8 or 10, whatever, or full open, whatever is easiest for them, basically the significant others. So this functionality, which we'll go over in another video, you can kind of program the flow control, and on top of that you can actually manage it downwards. So in case you have it programmed, you can bring it downwards. If you want to go under the 4 bar, you can go under 4 bar. And I have videos out there on using this device and extracting the better espresso. So that's another feature that we're going to go over in more detail in another video. Another one is the faster warm-up time. I'm a little pessimistic on that because we have 110 volt machines. Normally on the previous versions, they're about a 28 to 30 minute warm-up time, but I always advise customers a good 45 solid minutes for warm-up. So we're going to do some more testing if the warm-up time is faster. There were some algorithms. So competitors have tried to copy the flow control device, but little do they know that there's a lot more inside this machine than the competitors kind of know. And one of those things is the algorithms of what your room temperature is, and then basically deciding how to warm up the machine and the algorithm to follow on a warm up. I've seen that actually on version 2, because here in our little studio showroom, sometimes we have different temperatures, and I notice the warm-ups are acting differently from coffee boiler only, then steam boiler, or coffee steam, coffee steam. So there are different algorithms, and Lelit, I think, has it in some of their other machines on how they warm up. What those algorithms are, couldn't tell you, but I do notice a difference there. So that's another function that we're going to do further testing. And then the other one is the brew temperature offset. I've watched some other videos where people say you could program the temperature. I'm not sure if that really is the case here. It's more of, okay, you have a program for 203, but if you get a device that actually accurately measures the temperature of the water coming out of group head, it may be a few degrees off. In the beginning on version 1, I tested it with one of those devices. It was pretty darn close to the program temperature, and it stood pretty darn close also through the extraction. So maybe if things have changed, we'll do further testing on that, but it's basically the brew offset temperature. I'm not sure. Like I said, I watched some videos where some folks were saying, hey, you could change the temperature during the shop. Not sure about that. It's pretty difficult to do when you have an E61 group head and a boiler that's dedicated at a certain temperature, but you never know. So if you have any questions or comments, please ask down below. Can't always answer them. Super busy here at First Line. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up, like our page, and watch out for the next video with the Lelit Bianca. Have a great day.